Welcome everybody. It's been a long time since I did any kind of moto vlogging. Today, after a while, I tried to test this setup again, where I have my Drift 4K mounted on my right side rear view mirror, and I've run the wire to my helmet instead of mounting the camera directly onto the helmet. This is the new setup that I'm trying. I have tried it before with mixed results. This setup changed when I replaced my Schuberth C3 light helmet with this LS2 Advent X. And I really love this LS2 helmet overall. I just wanted to keep it light this time because I also have my Cardo system mounted on the left, and the camera would be mounted towards the right side of the helmet, and then this is a flip-up design, so the room and the angle was a little bit, I thought would be challenging, and that's why I just went ahead and started using my 360 and doing voiceovers. I made any videos. However, I have tried in a couple of videos this setup that I have today, but the sound quality for some reason was not the same as if when it was mounted on my helmet. Well, today I'm trying it because I miss doing moto vlogging, and it's a different feel when you're able to describe your feelings as you go. And I'll probably try to work with a few different angles with this setup, and maybe then come up with a nice balance. Let's talk about this particular GS, the ownership experience of the GS. This 2024 R1300 GS, I've had it for a little over 6 months, or about 6 months, and initially I was not really warmed up to it compared to my other bikes, such as my K1600 GTL, which I still have, and my S1000 XR, which I sold. If I put it honestly, it's a little bit different nature of experience that I've had with this. What do I mean by that? When I bought the XR, I literally was blown away with what that bike was. Not just how fast it was or how cool it sounded, or it's just the overall experience of excitement that that bike provided. Not so the case with this GS 1300. I rode the first one with the Enduro package and non-adjustable suspension, and tires also were like 80-20 type tires for off-roading. And I just did not like it enough. So, but now after 6 months, I've ridden it quite a bit, as well as I've taken a really long trip from my standards, from Maryland, DC area to Canada, through back routes mostly, so it's a longer route than general. There are a couple of things during that trip that I experienced, or I discovered. One of them is the seat, which is harder than I would like it to be, but especially compared to my GTL and even the older GSs, this is a harder seat. But maybe I'm getting used to it, but it seems like that it's a little bit better than how it was when it was new, which is understandable. But more than that, I made a few adjustments, like, you know, wearing those gel undergarments that are used for cycling, and that seemed to do the trick, because in such a long trip, never once I felt anything about the seat. Then the seating position itself, I put the handlebar risers. They make a night and day difference, at least for somebody like me, who likes to be a little bit more upright than what the BMW R1300 GS offered out of the box. After the handlebar risers, it really enhances not only your seating comfort, but also I personally feel that, you know, it really helps me handle the bike better. And I said helps me handle the bike better. The bike is a great handling bike in itself, you know, and when you're going with a spirited driving, you always have the option to lean forward, but the handlebars are wide and they come to you. So a lot of times you can do the maneuvers, slow and fast speed both, with relative ease versus if it didn't have those handlebar risers. Another thing about those handlebar risers is that unlike some other bikes, I did not really have to replace the wires or move the wires or extend the wires. These handlebar risers, I think 1.5 inch, and they just fit right in. Then I've done some other modifications, like I put, when I bought this in white color, that was more of a compromise because I wanted to go with something like a trophy edition because of the decals and the color schemes and everything. And white was pretty basic, it seemed, except for a couple of blue GS badges and BMW badge that, you know, you generally conventional BMW badge. But after going through, now I found that there are so many different options available for decals, and how you want to customize your bike is up to you. And I started doing that, and now I just love the way this bike looks, and it is my preferred color now. If I were to buy it again, I would probably still go for the white, light white, what they call, color. But when I bought it, I made sure that I did not give up on any of the options and technological advancements that this bike is offered with. So I made sure that, you know, I check all the boxes, and that's why it was very new. They were still being shipped on very low stock. It was the first week that they started coming. In fact, according to the records by the dealer that I bought it from, Bob's BMW, I was the second one in the whole region to get this. So I went along, and I do not regret my decision. The other things that I wanted to do was crash bars, upper and lower, and I did that. Those are Moti. I didn't even know about that company, but turns out that they are really big in making accessories for motorcycles, and they were the first ones to start making accessories for BMW GS 1300. The challenge was that it took about 3+ months or 2.5 to 3 months for me to get the crash bars. But once I got them, I was a little skeptical that why didn't I order in black? But when I put them on, I kid you not, they look really good to me, at least. They are brushed aluminum type with a little bit rougher finish, and it just looks really good and rugged, and they protect both upper and lower parts of the bike. Next thing I wanted to do was to get the auxiliary lights, because this did not come with the auxiliary lights installed. And these are some of the gripes that I have at this price point, that, you know, at least give auxiliary lights or the engine guards or something. This is not the base model. It has practically every feature, from adaptive cruise control to adaptive ride height, blind spot monitoring, heated seat, comfort seat. So, you know, I think for a package like that, just like they do with Trophy, they at least give the lower engine bars. The look of this bike with those engine bars is another thing that I really like. You know, that's not, you can't say that for a lot of bikes. The biggest challenge so far with this bike has been finding Vario luggage. BMW stopped selling it in the United States because of some mounting bracket issue, and they are still not selling it yet. They just started selling the top case, which I am not interested in, because I've already mentioned my trip to Canada, and there I just used a waterproof soft bag for motorcycles, and it really worked well. The only challenge is that, you know, with all the straps and buckles and everything that you need to strap it with to secure it, if you need to take something out at a stop or something, it's just a hassle. So it's always helpful to have easily accessible luggage. Now, there are tons of companies who are offering luggage options, but I really want the Vario luggage, nothing else, so that I can have the flexibility to increase the storage capacity whenever the need be, but just be able to still have the integrated look that I don't think any of the other adventure bikes offer with the luggage. The wind protection on this bike, despite the smaller looking windscreen, I did put this wind deflector on top of my windshield, which is a smaller deflector, but it does the job really well. I had to change the tire at around 900 miles, which you've already seen in the third part of my Canada trip video. And it was an exercise because finding the tire in the area that it happened was impossible, so couldn't find it. Had to patch it so many times because we were still 150 miles away, or maybe a little bit more than 150 miles away from our destination in Canada on the US side. And we had to manage those 150 plus miles by plugging in the tire multiple times, both with fix-a-flat as well as the tire plug. And I'm more of a tire plug type person than fix-a-flat, but I did try it on somebody's recommendation. It probably would have helped if the puncture was smaller, but this one was a huge puncture. But it did help in locating the puncture because the nail or whatever punctured the tire was not there, and it was just impossible to find it, especially when you're stuck on a highway. So as soon as we put the fix-a-flat, it just started leaking from the puncture, and that's where I was able to see it and was able to plug it in. The highlight of this bike is its suspension overall, suspension tuning. Usually I stay in the dynamic mode even in normal rougher surfaces, and it just never gets harsh. However, it's sporty enough that at any speeds, at least for my skill level, I didn't feel that the bike should be stiffer than what it is right now. So it is extremely comfortable, and on rougher roads, man, when you put it in road mode, it just glides. The other thing is the overall acceleration, the engine response of this bike. It's I rarely put it in Dynamic Pro, honestly, even when we are going and doing spirited riding with other friends, and this bike does not disappoint. Really is well sorted for the power delivery that it has, and the torque is so much and so low in the RPM range that if you're not careful, it's going to do the wheelie without any problem. The main complaint I have is the exhaust sound. It is mellow, to say the least, and that's just a big disappointment, honestly, that I feel that this bike could have done better in general. It's generally a very smooth engine, but there are some rattling noise that comes from the valves, and the dealership says that it's normal, so I guess I'm gonna have to put up with that. Gas mileage also is really good, at least low to mid 40s with any kind of riding that I'm doing. I've been riding sportingly, so I think I'll take that. Because of the overall technology in this bike, because of the overall balance of this bike, because of the overall handling of this bike, suspension, so far really love it. All right, fellows, hopefully this may help somebody. Just wanted to get it out there and give my feedback. It's been a long time for a moto vlog, and I just wanted to catch up on it. Please provide your feedback, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.